Dum, da, dum. Yeah. Oh yeah. Dum, dum, da, dum. What's happening, man? How are you doing? You know what I'm saying? How is your life? How is your family? How is your world? Your entire world. You know what I'm saying? It's 2023. We're halfway into the first month, and a lot has
Yes.
happened. A
Yes.
lot has happened.
A whole lot.
You know what I'm saying? I can't stress enough. I haven't seen this, and I'm gonna just break off into this intro a little bit real quick. But we haven't really given Gangsta Boo enough publicity in her demise, unfortunately, because I asked this question. I'm gonna ask it to the people that watch this show as well as every other show out there. Where does Gangsta Boo's Yeah Ho rank in hip hop ad libs of all time? I don't think you can put it below 3.
It's definitely top 5.
You know what I'm saying? Because she's definitely the original Yeah Ho. Yeah
Yeah.
Ho.
That's
That's
why
her.
that's why I tag was that. Man, you know what? I mean, it's because you just asking me today.
Yeah.
It's
Just today.
it's definitely top 5.
For sure. For sure.
I definitely give it top 5. It might be it's close to number 1 more than more people might realize.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna take that to the Some Dude Pride group.
Yes.
You know, niggas be active when it comes to this shit, but
Believe
like
it.
because Yeah Ho comes to mind, Jeezy's Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anything from Jim Jones, when his ad libs come, like to mind, like just right off the bat.
Yeah. No,
So
absolutely.
she's number 1 with that because you chant Yeah Ho
Yeah.
without listening to 3 6 Mafia music.
Right.
When you come to think about it, like you will chant that before you even think about, like before you even say something about them. So she might be top 1
Yeah.
when it comes to that and the effectiveness
You know what I'm saying?
of Yeah Ho.
You know? Because I mean,
Like if a fight happens, you're gonna yell Yeah Ho.
Right. Hey, and it's so, and she had variations of it too, but yet it got used, it got mixed. It's a whole generation has taken it on. But yeah, you know, the original Yeah Ho. Yeah Ho. Yeah Ho. That's Gangsta Boo.
Did you see the video of her funeral?
No, I did not.
So they had a video. Somebody recorded a video at her funeral, reportedly, allegedly, but it looks like it was her funeral. Where as they led her casket out, they were playing "Where Them Dollars At."
I mean, hey, first major solo single for her, so I get it.
Yeah, and you know, some might question that, but you know, we could do this especially because the some of the stuff we're going to talk about today like really bled into Some Dude Pride because like literally the announcement dropped while we were recording.
Yeah.
So we're gonna bleed into it. We're gonna bleed in a little bit to it. So
go ahead.
Now what I was gonna say is this. What I realized when I saw that video, like the person who sent it to me, I said, "Oh, that's praise and worship music." You don't realize, and you might laugh at what I'm about to say, but this is real. I realized at that moment, even though I've said it jokingly about other songs, I said it about Space Age Pimpin', I said it about a lot of like Show Enough, a lot of A-Ball and MJG shit. A lot of older Memphis music comes from church. Yeah, it has a churchy feel, so to speak. It's ratchetness in it, but you can't tell me that and then especially the way you look at a pimp.
Yeah.
The way a woman of leisure looks at a pimp, we know why. A lot of that music is praise and inspirational hip-hop music. Not gospel. It's praise and inspirational because it has so much of a pimp type quality to it where their women praise and worship their pimp. So same thing for Where Them Dollars At.
Yeah.
That's Gangsta Boo. She was birthed from that.
Yeah.
The Game of Memphis was birthed from that. That's praise and inspirational music.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. It's praise and inspirational, and then there's new Negro spirituals. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, hey, I think a lot of the songs on TM 101 were new Negro spirituals.
Yeah.
Player by Big Mike. That's a new Negro spiritual. I'm sorry.
Damn.
Like, that's just what it is.
And so yeah, a lot of Suave House, a lot of rap, a lot around that time. They have praise and inspirational rap music, not gospel music.
Right.
Again, praise and inspirational rap music.
Absolutely.
So yeah, see, this is what we do here on First Black Champ, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. You know what I'm saying? This is a place to talk about life, the world, and how it all correlates into wrestling, because we talk about wrestling like nobody else in the world. That was for free, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. Let's get ready for real. For the First Black Champ podcast, and 'tis I, the pick of this podcast, Wrestling-ish, Camp from the Port.
Look, man, I'm JR Bang. Make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download wherever you get your favorite podcast. Matter of fact, call me VP Bang again. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
To the vice president.
Yeah.
Barbershop Digital, man. Y'all make sure y'all follow us.
bitch.
Exactly. And make sure you follow us. It's a new Twitter. DFBC. Look at me, FBC. DBC Net. All right. Follow Barbershop Digital at the BC Net. Make sure you rate, like, subscribe, download wherever you get your favorite podcast. Barbershop Digital Network. Make sure you go ahead and get your merch. You see Camp with that red on again. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We gonna go ahead and get to it, because the last time we saw a week like this in wrestling, it was when Vince McMahon left or was forced out of the WWE due to sexual assault allegations.
That's what we thought.
Well, we thought that was going to be that was the biggest wrestling news of 2022. We get into 2023 and the big news don't stop, because then we got the news that Vince McMahon was going to return to the WWE. We talked about it last week. He basically forced his way back into the company, told them, hey, if y'all want this new TV deal, if y'all trying to sell this joint, y'all can't do it without me. I got all the shares, me and my people back on this board. Yeah, man. Well, this is when shit even got wilder, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make sure that I'm pronouncing my man last name correctly. We have a connection through the Illinois Center for Broadcasting. Steve Morhausen tweeted. He actually works for DAZN of Wrestling, and just DAZN in general. The streaming platform. They actually have the streaming rights to Impact Wrestling now. So shouts out to them. A lot of boxing and all of that stuff. Well, Steve tweeted out that the WWE, according to reports, had been sold. And it turned the wrestling internet and technically the internet into it put them in a tizzy, man. It said that that the WWE was sold to Saudi Arabia's public investment fund. They heavily invest in Formula One. They started Live Golf. If you guys are not aware of Live Golf, that's basically the golfer organization that is rival to PGA Golf, and they took a lot of those PGA golfers and gave them a whole bunch of bread. These cats offered Tiger Woods $900 million to join them, and Tiger said, "No, I'm straight. I'm gonna stay at the PGA Tour." I'm not gonna say that. Fuck it, I would have took the money, Tiger. That's 900, fam.
Hey, you know what? I feel you, but for Tiger Woods to do that lets you know how much money he made before 2005.
That's true.
That lets you know how he was like, I've seen that. He turned that down so fast. Like, I was like, you can tell he actually saw it. He saw it all.
He saw it. It's not liquid.
right.
It ain't just liquid.
That officially wasn't even a goal for him to say no.
Yeah, because I don't know nobody who's gonna turn down damn near $1 billion.
Right.
Tiger Woods is the only person on the face of this earth that I know that turned down nearly $1 billion off of principle.
Right.
Off of principle. He did that to the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund and Live Golf. So That's the same company that Steve was like bought the WWE. Man. And when I say the internet was just like, oh shit, man, it was wild on Twitter that night. Then it was a couple of other folks that was like, yeah, I heard the same rumor. You know, it's been confirmed by people and all these things. The word is going to come out very, very soon. And then the next day, the WWE and news outlets, reputable news outlets, CNBC and like all of the, they were like, oh no, that's not happening.
Yeah, praise
at
God.
all.
Praise God.
Steve took down the tweet. You know, it was a lot of people in wrestling that was eating crow, in wrestling journalism eating crow. And first of all, before we even get to the journalism part, you know, you said thank God. Like, you know, tell us about what you felt when you heard that news, and why is it thank God? What? Tell me.
Man, okay, so let's get right to that. So when I seen it, first of all, I didn't want to like it, I didn't want to heart it, I didn't want to retweet it, I didn't want to quote it, I didn't want to do nothing. I just sat there and been like, no, please God, no. I was like, this can't be real, because just when I thought Disney wouldn't give me what I wanted for my wrestling, Saudi Arabia gonna give me less than that. All right. And it's not that I have a problem with women wrestling in 3X t-shirts or in the full body garments or tights and what have you, like the old MVP joint with the legs on it.
Goddamn.
But it's just the principle of Saudi Arabia being the owners of the biggest wrestling company in the world. And for the sake of people like you, Bang, and other ones, I don't want to see the Roman Reigns run reestablished with Jinder Mahal. Just don't want to see things like that. That, even though SaudiManias are obviously great money-making opportunities for the WWE, I think that specifically Saudi Arabia, that country, that space, that whatever company, because I don't know the name of the company by name, and I apologize, but I don't think that demo, that country, that population speaks to any major demo in the wrestling space. I think it's bigger than white men 18 to 34, and I'm sorry for not letting you get your tag off.
No, you good.
I think it's literally about just millennial generation. I think it's about the tried and true old wrestling fans, like the people that grew up watching Terry Funk, which is the people that are watching also Dusty and Rick, also the people that watch Stone Cold and Rock. I just don't think that you are taking into account how much they still love wrestling and how much they have probably ushered their children, nieces, or nephews into the same space. And I mean, and again, if I was so worried about Disney taking the edge away from wrestling, there's no way on God's green and blue earth that I can condone Saudi Arabia taking the reins of WWE, because you're going to get way less than that. At least Disney provides you with wild, obscure, and even blatantly obvious, as you get older, sexual innuendo in cartoons and movies. At least they try to conceal it. In Saudi Arabia, you might get your hand or your penis chopped off if you're doing too much in the wrong place at the wrong time, which is every time. So I didn't want to acknowledge this. I treated this like Jay-Z treats Columbus Day, and I didn't want to hear this shit. So I was elated, all right? I was jubilant. I was joyous when I saw that Lids, Hat World, Village, Hat Shop, no matter what it is, saw caps. We're not doing that. And thank God. Thank God.
So there's another time where I'm conflicted. And I know somebody gonna be like, man, how in the hell you conflicted about what? So look, I'm probably going to be the bad guy in this podcast on this one right here.
Okay.
I'm probably going to be the one that everybody be like, I'm probably going to get some threats, all of these things. But literally the only thing that I see wrong about Saudi Arabia, this public investment firm buying the WWE, is women. That's it. And here's why. And this is more towards Americans than it is anybody else.
Okay.
Again, women, we see the history with Saudi Arabia, all of these things, and we know about all that Middle East. I get all that. It's not about to be some Republican shit. It's actually not. It might be. It might be. But look, black people.
Yeah, we don't know.
But black people, low key Republicans, they just don't know it.
Yeah,
black
we ain't
people
rich enough.
Right. Black people are conservative as hell. Just for some reason ain't no some reason. Just after Lyndon B. Johnson did what he did, everybody was a Democrat. But low key, every black person is a Republican when certain shit happens. And we know what certain things is. I'm not gonna go into it because I definitely went I went a little bit too far with the F words last week.
I mean, hey.
But
we
say that
publicity, man.
Right. But say that to say this. Women, I get. Sami Zayn, I get.
Yeah.
But we started this conversation off by saying that this company was about to give Tiger Woods $900 million to play golf. You know who got money? Them.
You got money, and you know it.
And you know who appreciates American culture more than Americans? People overseas.
That's true.
I'm sorry. I really learned that by watching how overseas people react to hip hop compared to what we do.
Yeah, for sure.
Ja Rule and Exhibit was just overseas doing the concert, and everybody overseas in that joint knew the words.
Nice, beautiful.
Repeated it, all of that. Ja Rule tried to do a concert in Las Cruces, New Mexico. Niggas go play 50 Cent, try to get him mad.
Yeah.
Look at the Saudi Arabian audience compared to some of our audiences. It rivals a lot because they're excited to see us. So them, with the unlimited amount of cash that they have, they gonna pay people to come and wrestle for them. And you know who gonna take it? That's what a Republican in me is gonna come out and say. White men, 18 to 34. Look, they offered Tiger Woods $900 million to play golf. All of those white dudes, including Phil Mickelson, took the money to go play golf and got mad when they couldn't play in the Masters or any of the other major events. They like, we should still be able to do that. I'm just going over there and play with them because they pay us more money.
Yeah.
More money means more to the product.
I got you.
So financially, there's no other company other than Disney that would give these wrestlers way more money and possibly more opportunity than that PIL. But then as a wrestler, you got to think of money or is it blood money? Because here's the thing. For all that shit everybody talking about Saudi Arabia, Jack, there's only a few wrestlers that don't go to Saudi Arabia for the SaudiMania events.
That's true.
Let's just be real.
That's true.
All this shit about but when you see the matches, Sami Zayn be the only person that don't pull up, or Kevin Owens be the only person that don't pull up.
Right.
Everybody else pulling up, and some folks pull up just to take the money.
Yeah.
Goldberg pull up for that check.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar pull up for that check. So they ain't that bad for the locker room to be like, them women, hey, let's put on the full gear, cover up, and let's go wrestle for these people. Now, it's not like the headquarters is going to be based in Saudi Arabia and shit. Like, it's not like, oh, we got to move Triton Towers all the way to Saudi Arabia. You know what I'm saying? That's not like that.
Right.
And I do get the apprehension people have when you hear that they are the people who bought it.
Yeah.
But did you have that same apprehension when Phil Mickelson took that bread?
I mean, he white, I don't care.
Bingo. And most of these other people are white. They don't care. Bobby Lashley went and got his ass whooped by Goldberg for that check.
Yeah. And you know what? I totally understand you. And this also made me think of the other thing I was waiting for. When I heard that news, I was waiting for Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Because I'm sure he would have found his way on Twitter. Because wrestling is one of the most America things you can do besides NASCAR, as far as the core of America, right? So if Hacksaw Jim Duggan would have went on the Twitter rant, I was like, oh, this is real. But until that happens, you know what I'm saying? I don't think I'll never take it that serious. You are right about the money. And I think the paydays that exist, I mean, really anywhere, are just great for wrestlers right now, especially when you just look at how global the WWE has just become over the last 23 years. Like, during the 90s, they were talking worldwide, right?
Yeah.
But then as he talked worldwide, we started getting an injection of more and more just international superstars. Whether it was Scotland, Ireland, UK, India. It was just always somebody from somewhere else, and they all got elevated, Africa, and on the premise of business, I must say, Bang, you are right. Another company in another country and even another continent is not far-fetched from where we sit. But again, the ounce of America in me will always want the WWE to remain on American soil.
Yeah.
Just because of the brand of wrestling I grew up watching. So again, here we are 2 weeks in a row. And I'm letting y'all know, even though we are on both sides of the fence here, or the coin, or whatever you want to put us on the opposite sides of, I'm letting y'all know Bang is not wrong.
No, because he's not wrong. Before anybody says anything while they listen to this pod, like Bang on bullshit today and blah, 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 I want Amazon to buy these marks.
Man, that was my pick.
I don't want the PIL to buy them. What I'm saying is that it's fake outrage if they do to certain people, because it's not going to stop you from watching the product. It's not like all these cats are going to have to wear the I don't want to get the name of the head wrap wrong.
I got you. Like the was it the Sikh?
Yeah, I mean something like that. It's not like you're gonna be dressed up as General Adnan, fam.
Right.
And every wrestler you see is gonna be dressed up as General Adnan. And every woman is gonna have to cover up. Like, sometimes when I look at certain Twitter followers, you just scared that you think you're gonna lose out on seeing cleavage because the Saudi Arabia PIL is gonna buy the WWE. No, fam. Like,
you need to go
just not gonna be right. You just not gonna see cleavage in Saudi Arabia because you've never seen it in wrestling in Saudi Arabia. That's the only place. But when they come to Branderton, Florida for a live event, fam, it's going to be breast there for you to see jiggle around because somebody's going to watch that, have their cleavage out. So let's chill on that. What I'm saying is there's a lot of fake outrage when it comes to that, because blood money at the end of the day is money. And unless you, again, Kevin Owens or Sami Zayn, you've been over there already.
Right. Yeah.
To take that big ass payday. Then let somebody tell me differently. I think that payday might be along the lines of WrestleMania because the money that's coming in. So now, if that company owns the company, like if they own the WWE, if they own Titan Sports, hey, that check higher.
Yeah,
because the influx of bread is higher.
Yeah, not for nothing, Bang. I've been wanting to see this since we've got the SaudiMania 3. That I wonder, for the investment put in, what is the percentage of revenue received, or the ROI, based the last WrestleManias versus the last SaudiManias, because something tells me that the profit margin is so much greater because they don't do as much. It's only one day. I think that the crowds, as far as the amount of attendance, I think it rivals, and sometimes, well, it doesn't beat. I'm sorry, it rivals the same amount, and I wouldn't be surprised if those tickets are maybe a little more. So I would be interested in seeing exactly how much they are making from those SaudiMania events, because at one point didn't they do 2 or 3 in 1 year at one shot, or if it was like in that 12-month period for sure?
I think it was like 2 in 1 year. So so like that, as a fan, you gonna watch the product, fam.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna watch the product. What I'm saying is that unless you are a certain wrestler, you gonna take that bread.
Yeah.
Because it's probably gonna be more bread than you ever seen in your life. You know what some people will say about some people will say going to the WWE in general is like taking blood money.
Yeah, fact.
Because you adhering to a corporation as opposed to a mom and pop. Like, the WWE is a mom and pop organization that turned corporate.
Yeah, for sure.
But they still have a mom and pop feel to it because of the way Vince McMahon do his shit. Everything go through him.
Yeah, and everybody knows Vince.
And everybody knows Vince. So some people would say going to the WWE is taking blood money. So shit, it'll really be that if the Saudi Arabian public investment fund buy it. But again, shock me with who would not go and take that money.
Right.
Shock and surprise me. If your name ain't Sami Zayn or Kevin Owens, or I'm keeping a buck, or a woman.
Yeah.
But I've not seen a woman of stature turn down that opportunity to wrestle over there.
Right.
It's all I'm about to give you a wild example here, Cam.
All right.
This is about to be a wild first Black Chap example. Cuckolding.
Yeah, man.
As long as you don't touch me, I'm gonna nail the shit out of your wife. Just don't touch me. But she getting it all.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what a lot of this is, fam. I ain't gotta go deal with you like that. Just pay me what I feel like I'm worth, and I'm gonna go get into that ring at the Rosemont Horizon and give the fans a show, because it's all about them in the first place.
Here I am. RAW.
Boom. And that's why, to me, some of this is fake outrage, because you're gonna watch now the Sami Zayns, the Kevin Owens, especially Sami. Oh, I understand Sami. It's like a person. Sami Zayn to me is like a person who got a real legit religious reason not to take the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
Like that's Sami to me. Like, you have a legit religious reason. Don't take it. Just take the test every other week.
Right.
But all of y'all that don't want to take it because of certain things that said, and now
you're on Google.
Right, because you're on Google, and now all of a sudden, your religious beliefs don't want you to take this vaccine, but it didn't stop you from taking every other vaccine in the world. Like, that ain't Sami. That's everybody else who's like, I'm really not sure.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Like Sami, to me, is the person, and Kevin are the two people to me that's male that have a legit like
this might be bad for me.
Yeah, I'm not going. I'm going AEW in 6 months. Don't even worry about it. I'll be over there in 6 months. Y'all do what y'all do, but nah, I'm not working for a company owned by these people.
Yeah.
But Roman Reigns couldn't come out and be like, the tribal chief is unsure. You main evented these marks. What you talking about?
Yeah, right.
Main evented Goldberg. I don't think I can come back and be a part-timer. Get the fuck up out of here. Bobby Lashley, you know what? No, fam, you got your ass beat by Goldberg. and you did it for a check, man. Like, it's a lot of people like that where I'm like, and then to give you the point, it's a lot of people international that's gonna say, oh, they really paying over there, and I get to come over there and flip around. Oh,
right. You know what I'm saying?
Give me that bread. So
you might see Justin Gabriel back.
hey. But no, man, I just think some of it internet-wise is fake outrage because we do like to be outraged about something. But I do see an upside in financial when it comes to the wrestlers in the organization. You just gotta you just have to look within yourself and say, hey, no, I'm willing to take this money. And really can't, like, really, just to be honest, when you get to a certain point in life, and it's something that I've been thinking about lately, I mean like a couple of months. When you get to a certain situation, when you get to a certain point, you do have to think it's all money, good money.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When we younger, pass that check, G. Yeah. But when you do get to a certain level, and you could be at that young age, but be at a certain level, you know, is all money good money? And I think when I say that people, to clarify, when people can say that taking money from the WWE is blood money, like, you know, there's some wrestlers who would say not, like, taking the WWE's money is not good money because the corporation aspect of it. And that's why some of these same wrestlers don't go past where they are at, because they don't want to go to anything like that. And I just got a text from the wife saying, you preaching, Pastor Bang. But no, it's like true. Like, you get to a point where it's like, man, I don't want to do that. I think it would be great, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to be on TV every week and have to go listen to creative and all. That's what makes AEW attractive to a lot of wrestlers.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, so I get it. And that's why I don't want nobody to think that I'm like, yo, go take the money. I'm just saying that, hey, like you said, Tiger Woods not taking that 900 million, he's seen 900 million.
Right.
He ain't got to do that shit. But you can't tell me, I'm not saying he would get offered that much, but you can't tell me that Roman Reigns would get offered $100 million over 5 years for the WWE if Saudi Arabia owns them, and he gonna say, Tribal Chief don't need all that. You can, man, fuck that. He gonna take that money. It's new star, and whoever don't take it, that's a star. That's cool. New stars gonna be made. Money gonna be put behind those new stars because this company here legit got an open checkbook to make sure that happens. Yeah. And there's only possibly 2 companies that's looking to purchase the WWE that can literally say open checkbook, and that's Amazon and the PIL. But I'm gonna stick to what I want, what my prediction is, and who I want to get them, and that's Amazon.
Yes. First Black Champ has officially endorsed Amazon for the 2nd week in a row as being the company that we would like to see acquire the WWE, if anybody is going to do that. Yeah. I'm all on board with that. Now, see last week's episode for my reasons. We don't need to rehash it.
Yeah, we ain't even got to rehash that. Now, also within that though, Stephanie McMahon. Wow. Like, you know, we was recording the Some Dude pod, and literally as soon as we started, alert came into my phone. Stephanie McMahon resigned from the WWE. Won't go into the whole statement. Just know that she's no longer a part of the company in any capacity. So
Stephanie.
So since you started off on that one, I give my thoughts. I think Stephanie just wanted. I think Stephanie's leave of absence was her wanting to spend more time with her kids and be a mom.
Okay.
I think that's what that is. I think that's what that was. I think Stephanie, the wrestling will never leave Stephanie. It's in her blood. She's a McMahon. It's in her blood. I just think that Stephanie wanted to spend more time as a mom. Her daughters are getting older. You know, I think 1 or 2 of them are in high school right now. I think Stephanie, whatever happens to the WWE, Stephanie will be back in some type of capacity.
Yeah.
It's just with Triple H. And I said this before on the pod. When Endeavor bought the UFC, Ari Emanuel was never going to be the face of UFC. You need a face of that. Stephanie McMahon or Triple H will be the Dana White of whoever buys the WWE. It might be best suited for Triple H, but one of them two is going to be the face of that company. They're going to be the president or whatever title that they need to be, like what Dana White is. Dana White is the president, I think, of the UFC. So it'll be the same situation. And you need a Stephanie or Triple H to run that company.
Yeah. Oh man, you had this way different than I saw it. Yeah, this is great.
Like you don't want I'll give you a perfect example. It's the best example we've ever seen in wrestling because depending on your age, we saw this already. It's just that depending on your age, you didn't know what was going on. You just saw some shit was different. Hood can probably talk to this more than we can because he was older. He's older than us. But when Ted Turner bought Crockett Promotions, and put Jim Herd in charge of WCW, shit wasn't going right, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope.
Like the ding dongs, and like PN News and other folks. I mean,
not too much on PN News.
I mean,
because of my man, Prince Mikey D, the wrestler.
He was, but we know why he was brought in. He wasn't brought in because he was brought in to be the character of a Puerto Rican wrestler. Yo, baby, yo. Because the corporation thought, hey, let's capitalize off on this hip hop shit. You know, like PN News is the rap version of Breaking.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
But we fucked with it because it was the closest we were ever going to see to this.
Yeah, hey,
in there.
He had Salt and Pepper at Clash of Champions.
Exactly. And Salt and Pepper got paid to go to Clash of Champions. Probably got paid than every other wrestler that was there.
Polka dots, I still remember it.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, you get a lot of wild shit that happens because it's a non-wrestler or somebody just not involved in the wrestling business that's in charge of wrestling. That's what I don't want to happen if any of these non-wrestling organizations were to buy the WWE. Like, I don't want, you know, I'm just gonna throw a random ass name out here that will never have a chance, but I'm just gonna throw a random ass name out here. Like, I don't want like the WWE to get bought by Amazon and they say Van Jones is overseeing the company, fam.
You're
like,
right.
Fuck up out of here, man.
You need to step down.
Right, yeah. So that's my worry. Like Stephanie or Shane, one of the McMahon kids or Triple H has to be the face of the company, similar to a Dana White situation. Just don't slap your wife.
I'm totally on board with that. But yeah, Dana White is a wild dude too. E Honda and his wife like that in the VIP section is crazy. So even though, I mean, you've given me a more lighthearted approach, I looked at this Stephanie leaving as a whole different situation. I looked at it as, Dad, you gonna bring your old pervert ass back right now when I'm hot?
Oh, that's
like, yo, you gonna mess up my brand. Like, yo, you gonna mess up what I'm doing now. Like, I got this now. Like, I'm actually the better version of you, and people see it, even though they may not like me.
Yeah.
And then Vince was like, hey, look, over my dead body, Steph, you know the rules, you know the game. All right, I'll wait till you die. I'm out. And then she just leaves. He's like, oh, my husband is still here. Don't worry. like, we thinking alike. Our house is good. I'll just wait for you to die then.
I might be back.
I'll be back.
I might be back sooner than you think.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need a clear runway. That's all. Just give me a clear runway. So when I seen that, I totally got Terminator vibes. I'll be back when these old MFs is out the way.
Yeah.
and rightfully so. I mean, listen, I don't know how y'all all viewed the tweet as well as the reaction, but specifically because I've just seen an influx of them, I looked at what women were saying when the Stephanie tweet went out about her resigning. Not stepping down, not stepping away, but totally like, nah, you know what? I'm good. And the one thing that we do have to consider now, just like we have to consider with Saudi Arabia, just like we have to consider with all these different things, is that women are now megastars in wrestling. Women are now executives in wrestling, and it's not just one like it was maybe like 20 or 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And with that being said, women now have a larger voice. Now, we obviously know, like, it is a fact. There has not been a drastic downturn in women viewership since Vince has returned. And I never expected that. And I don't expect a boycott that will cause a dent in revenue or attendance now that he is back. But I do think from a global standpoint and from a women's standpoint, because the more things that women are into, the more the children and the husbands and the boyfriends are going to be into, because that's tickets being sold, that's merch being sold, that's experience being created. And I do wonder, now in this present day, though, as we go into 2023 and beyond until it's 2000 whatever AV, you know what I'm saying, after Vince, what it's going to look like for this period of time. Because with creative, and hopefully he doesn't start overriding a lot of things that the Triple H has, but we're running into a situation is, if he's going to rely too much on his old models, what it's going to do to this women audience that we can't discount. Steph helped build. Steph helped build the global woman superstar wrestler. You know, what she had to work with to start was the Bella Twins. What she ended up working out was Rhea Ripley, Becky Lynch, and Bianca Belair. and not for nothing, Sasha Banks. And all of those women were all ushered in through her husband, Triple H. So when you think about all those things and what they're building and what they're creating, yeah, Stephanie's got to be out, because you're like, yo, you got to let me do my thing. Because where we're taking the company, you can't even see this far ahead right now, because you're thinking of what already worked for you. So I think obviously we'll see those changes to affect that demo in that market. I worry about what it means long term, even with the sell, because when you don't have as many high value superstar commodities, or you're relying on the wrong ones to be your high value superstar commodities, does that overall affect the future of what they see for the business? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just things that I think about as Stephanie, who's obviously over time just has proven herself to be the most equipped, and women are backing her. And even though right now it's just Twitter fingers, what does it look like in 2027 if Vince is still at the head and they haven't sold yet?
Yeah, man. First Black Champ, we're talking about the potential sale of the WWE and Stephanie McMahon resigning from the company. Now, I believe that you're right on that too. I'm not ignorant to the fact of, that family tension.
Yeah.
has come into play in this too. But I also believe that was one of her original reasons of leaving the company for a leave of absence too. Like, with that being a woman, we do got to realize that she raising 3 women.
Yeah, that's true.
And when you are around the business so much, how much time do you have to be a mother? How much time do you have to be a family? All of this stuff also came around the time where Triple H had his health issues too.
Yeah.
And even Triple H had talked about how some of his priorities changed a bit. And they do. Like, look, we both have had health issues.
Yeah.
On this show.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, we both
for sure
had our issues, and we talked about this issue. And after those issues happened, it really put things into, like you would always say, put things into its proper perspective.
Mm-hmm. And
I think that, certain things may have happened, around that time, where for the McMahon family, it put the McMahon Hemsley or the McMahon Levesque family, it put things into its proper perspective, and it has no choice. But at the same time, when your daddy tweaking, it makes it easier to make that choice.
Right.
Like, when your daddy a tweak, it's easier for you to go say, I'm about to go be a mother to my kids, fam. I'm tired of this shit. I'm about to do for them what you ain't do for me.
Right. Right.
So I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna make sure that everything is taken care of here. Triple H, you over there, you the chief content officer. Do your thing. I'm about to go make sure the daughters is ready for the Sadie Hawkins Day dance, and we gonna be good after that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And yeah, Vince, you tweaking, fam. You tweak, and it's easy for me to make this decision. And Vince, like, well, nah, fam. All right, go do you. Tell my granddaughters I said what's up, but you ain't taking my company from me like that. Like, you're not taking my company because I fucked on some girls while I was married to your mama. Like, that's not gonna happen.
But that's what we don't do. It's like,
hey, y'all know what it is. And then Shane just in the back, like, hey man, they gave me $800,000, fam, and I only wrestled at the Royal Rumble. I'm straight.
Yeah,
because that's what happened. They looked at the books, and my man got like 820 something K last year, and he was only at the Royal Rumble. Man, family business is love. Yeah, so there's a question for you. Like, where does Shane does Shane spin the block?
That's a great question, man. I've been trying to figure Shane out for about 5 years now, to be honest with you. It's almost like I feel that if it's all left up to Shane, he's selling within 30 days. He gonna bust a net 30 and be like, look, man. Look, man, fuck all this shit. Like, to be honest with you. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he doesn't love wrestling and what it did for his family, his personal family. Like, obviously he's part of the McMahon family, but his wife and kids and all of that. But I also think that Shane's vision for wrestling, he's probably just had a change of priorities, because I think the older we get, we start to repurpose the things that really matter to us. So in my view, if Shane has a top 10 list of things that are life purpose and important, I don't think he has wrestling higher than 7. So to me, it's either that or he's waiting for everybody to get out the way. He's like, yo, I want you going, Pops. I want you going, sis. Take your husband with you. I don't want my mom talking to me. I was like, now let me do everything. Like, I want to assume the position of Vince, where, hey, everybody only knows and understands that I run this, and they don't even know y'all yet. Like, it's either he doesn't care at all, or he want to go back to 82, where it's like, hey, it's just me out here, and that's what it's going to be. So you know what? I don't even want to speak to his state of being and his state of mind and state of being on the world of wrestling, the industry that is wrestling, until we see more of him doing some shit that has to affect wrestling, to be honest with
you. Yeah. Just like, my thing with Shane is, does Shane really just want to be in this business? Like
Yep.
simply put, like Shane has jumped in and jumped out so much, it makes me think like, the family do it, so I'll do it.
Yeah.
We all thought like he was the heir apparent, but Stephanie was the one who had the wrestling mind.
Yep.
No, it Shane doesn't strike me as that guy. Shane strikes me as the guy that want to kick it with the wrestlers,
Yeah.
not run the organization.
Yeah.
Stephanie strikes me as a dad, just without all of the sexual shit.
Yeah.
So
hey, you know what I'm saying? Hey, and this is why white people don't necessarily leave their fortune and businesses to their kids. Because what you gonna do with my shit when I'm dead?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, I mean, it's you know, I think we are watching one of the greatest wrestling storylines play out in real life, and it's just, what does the family do? What does the owner and the head of the family do when the kids are kind of split on what to do with what he built? You know, I think there's, as Bang just said, I think Steph wants the baton, and I think Shane wants to 10x the baton.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I got this baton. You want this? I got it. It's right here. I got this baton right here.
Yeah, like, yo, what's good? You know what I'm saying? Y'all trying to go out with the baton? Like, yeah.
Right.
Like everything, like looking back and even like looking at old wrestling shit, Shane did some shit just because he could.
Yeah.
Shane is the essence of the white man age 18 to 34. Shane lived out what we all wanted to live out.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it was ever truly in Shane's heart.
Yeah.
It just was like, oh shit, I get to wrestle at WrestleMania? And I get to fight my daddy?
Right. It's like, how can I not do that?
Shit. Right. Kill me with a good time, but it just feels like to me, if you told Shane that you can do the wrestling thing but just not be on camera, he like, what the fuck am I doing this shit for?
Right, man. I just bought some new Jordans, bro. They haven't got this colorway out yet.
Right. Trying to
to see this.
Right. I'm trying to do the coast to coast in these right here. I can't. No, I'm straight, fam. Don't even worry about it. No, but at the end of the day, at the end of
so fuck.
You mean I gotta sit right here? Oh, y'all tripping.
Yeah, y'all got this fucked up.
Yeah, y'all tripping, man. Y'all out y'all mind. Yeah, but so look, man, it's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out. At the end of the day. There's still a lot of going on behind the scenes. I'm not for sure if the PIL, Saudi Arabia PIL, is still on the forefront of this. No, it would be interesting to get their reaction. Like, yo, I mean, we talking about it, but we ain't buying shit. Yeah, y'all fucking up the money right here.
Yeah, sure.
You know, but it is going to be interesting. But it also brings into the conversation of wrestling journalism.
Yeah.
You know, we talked about how, you know, my man Steve jumped out there with the news, said sources, reportedly it came from a Reddit user that usually write on shit. And it right, yeah, you
think about that, bro.
You know, you getting some shit from a Reddit user, fam. Like, oh.
Yeah, man.
You know, all the shit you could get on Reddit, like, you know, so you were breaking news, looking at porn and streams at the same time. Like,
right. I mean, now, if he was on there for the Iggy Azalea link, now that's different.
Yeah, right, that's different. Is that link available?
I haven't seen it.
Oh,
and usually I get Reddit alerts. So.
There we go. So, but with that being said, like wrestling journalism, I think came to a forefront because CNBC was shitting on them. Basically, news like this ain't gonna come from them.
Yeah.
You want to talk about wrestling? Who leaving? Who going? That's the shit y'all talk about.
Yeah.
But that money shit,
yeah, man,
that's gonna come from us.
Yeah.
So, like, what are I never really got your full thoughts on wrestling journalism.
Yeah, you know, wrestling journalism is a funny thing, man, especially in this world we live in today. Because to me, if we're going to talk about wrestling journalism, right, it should just be about the product. That's how I'm viewing it, because that would be the era of wrestling journalism. So we're not talking about Mercedes Moné. We're going to talk about Sasha Banks and her transition to Mercedes Moné and what that means. But I think I think wrestling journalism is starting to blur the lines of, oh no, I know real life information too. And I'm not sure if one, I'll ever believe it, or two, they should be going for that. I guess that, like, I'm always super conflicted on journalism. Like, I've never read a Meltzer report. I only see the tweets and I hear the feedback, because it's like, why would you be giving me information that I'm not supposed to know for the product I'm watching?
Right.
And look, and I'm probably in the minority of people that think and feel that way. I'm just telling y'all, like, my perspective on wrestling journalism. I think what we do is more along the lines of wrestling journalism than anything, because we constantly talk about the product. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, or we don't tell you Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's real life and talk about his divorce and his children, and, you know what I'm saying, how he might be using steroids or anything. Like, I'll leave that to Joe Rogan. You know what I'm saying? I'll do that. I'll leave that to him. When he's The Rock and he's coming back to win the Royal Rumble and possibly headlining WrestleMania, then that's, to me, that is the extent of where wrestling journalism should go. But hey, maybe I'm a dinosaur. Maybe I am totally out the loop on what it is truly meant to represent. I don't think...
Whoa, Keith. We are not analysts. We are niggas who love wrestling. I am not an analyst. I mean, because I just turned my head. I be on my webcam, so I really only turn my head every once in a while. I am sorry to interrupt you, Cam, but we are not analysts, G. We are niggas who love wrestling. No. There's a see. I think I got to get this off, Cam.
Do your thing. I was almost done, so you good. I won't forget what I was gonna say. You good?
Right, good. Because I just gotta get this off. Nah, nigga, we ain't that. See, that's what kills me about wrestling journalism, fam. And I wasn't gonna say this. That's why I was like, nah, I gotta get this off. That's what kills me about this wrestling journalism shit. Because everybody think just because you get you an Instagram page and you get you a Twitter page, you start making graphics and all these shits and all that stuff. Now, all of a sudden, like, we're wrestling analysts or we're wrestling journalists. No, nigga, I am a person who loves wrestling. Anything that we talk about on this pod, it comes from the love of wrestling. I am not trying. If it happens, so be it. Yeah. Why? Because I am in journalism.
Yeah.
Like, I work in this shit. That's why I know the difference between work and play. Nigga, this play. This is some shit that I love to do. All right.
Right.
That other shit right there is for Monday through Friday, 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. And depending on if some shit happens in the world, the weekend.
Right.
Other than that, when we talk from the perspective of loving wrestling. Yeah. I am not trying to scoop niggas. I am not trying to prove that I'm right to people and all of that shit. We love this shit. We talk shit. Yeah. We do not, because it is people that follow us. Mm-hmm. There are people who might listen to this show and then take what we talk about on this show, because I know this for a fact. There's people who listen to this show, talk about what we talk about on this show, and then they try to break that shit down for their own audience.
Yeah.
No, nigga. When we did that Mr. Hughes episode, we ain't do that shit technical at all.
Yeah.
No, nigga. Mr. Hughes, that shit. Mr. Hughes, that nigga, and we fuck with him. Yeah. Whereas other shows will be like, the technical prowess of Mr. Hughes should not be. Nah, fam. Yeah, when we did that whole shit about AWA, we did it from this perspective of, hey, man, we was too young to really watch that shit. Hood Tell us about it.
Exactly.
Hood's a wrestler. He's an analyst, fam.
Yeah.
We were sitting there like, tell us about this shit. And I think, and I know Keith just put, all right, my bad, y'all wrestling shit talkers, but I really just want people to understand that, and it's part of the journalism shit. Don't mistake your fandom for Walter Cronkite. Don't mistake your love for this business for Dan Rather, fam.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, wrestling is a predetermined sport.
Yeah.
That you could get hurt in. It's
right.
athleticism. But at the end of the day, this shit's all my children.
Yeah.
It got to go off. And you got to live your life. And I see too many people on the internet that get too heavily invested in this shit without making no money, too, just to be wrestling analysts. If you know journalism and you know what you have to do within journalism to be a journalist, go do that.
For sure.
But don't watch every wrestling program and get on YouTube and talk about every wrestling program and think you are a wrestling journalist. No, you a nigga who watch wrestling a lot. On First Black Champ, along with Cam from the Port, we love wrestling and we talk about the shit we like, just like you would at a lunchroom. Yeah. We ain't trying to break down the moves of New Japan and all that shit. We're not trying to do all that. No, fam. We talk about this shit, and that's why our show is authentic and why a lot of other platforms are not. Because they're trying to be something that they are not. Nigga, you are not Mean Gene Oakland. You are not Bobby the Brain Heenan. You Mike from Minnesota who loves wrestling. Do that shit. Pass it back to you, Cam.
Yeah. And that honestly is a perfect segue into what I was going to say. Like that was actually where I was going next. It's like, again, and over the course of the last 5 and some change now years, I've spoke vehemently about, hey, I don't read these dirt sheets. I don't read the analyst report and the things from the journalism, because why? Y'all taking the fun away from watching Raw, from watching NXT, from watching SmackDown, from watching AEW. Like, you're trying to give me too much information that I don't even give a fuck about in the first place. And off top, you are also creating an environment where you've become so consumed with a scripted reality that as soon as something does change, you mad. You mad because now your journalism faulty, though. And that's all they got to do. That's all they got to do. Like, what y'all don't realize about the people that consider themselves journalists or analysts of the actual sport of wrestling is that Tony Khan could just stop Britt Baker in her tracks and be like, hey, I saw Twitter, this dude say this, the journalist say this, Dave Meltzer said this, so we about to do that. And then boom, he wrong. Like, he wrong. Now that his entire article and his predictions, all of it, null and void, get the fuck out of here. That's why I like what we do, which is we watch the product, we like or dislike certain segments, and we speak on that. And I think that is just keeping us in this world of wrestling. Like, again, we are, even though wrestling is global, it's still a niche and it's still a select few of us. And like anything else that you like, you can't talk to everybody about everything. Hockey fans feel this way about what they watch. Baseball feel this way. Football, basketball, cricket. You know what I'm saying? Game of Thrones watchers feel this way. Dungeons and Dragons players. Everybody, even though you have your certain like thing that you like, you got to realize that you're in that world and you don't need to get out of it. Like, again, this topic, conversation, and breakdown is why, hey, I don't hate Hulk Hogan. I can't I can't tell you who Terry Bollea is. I don't think I've ever met him.
Right.
I just know Hulk Hogan and Hollywood Hogan, and that's the standard I'm going to hold him to. Now, maybe backstage some Terry Bollea shit do be happening, but that's not who I know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Terry Bollea called that dude a nigga.
Right.
Hulk Hogan told you to train, take your vitamins, and I told y'all for years that Hulk Hogan been a heel.
Yes, exactly. You know what I'm saying? like that's what it is to me. I wish I had more real wrestler names at the top of my head, but I don't. But that's where I leave.
Shit, Michael Hickenbottom.
Yes. No clue who Michael Hickenbottom is, even though he's starting to look like a Hickenbottom right now. But Shawn Michaels is that guy.
I fucking be talking NXT.
Right. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean, hey, Bret Hart's name is really Bret Hart, but obviously the Hitman ain't the Calgary, Alberta native.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think I mean, hell, y'all killing your own fun, and we've talked about that too many times. So I'll stop it short right here. Y'all killing your own fun with the programming, with the live events, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Like it was dope for me to go to Raw and tell y'all maybe what you did or didn't see, but I was there as a fan of the event. I wasn't there preparing the 300-word article to throw up on firstblackchamp.com to let you know the insider report that's going to be completely false because don't nobody fuck with me anyway.
Yeah, like that's the other part of this too, right? Whereas when it comes to wrestling journalism, like I'm not shitting on the people who really legit are journalists.
Yeah.
Like I know journalists that like one of the reasons why outside of me, one of the reasons why I can say what I'm saying because I know journalists. Yeah. Real journalists. I feel like Rick Ross. I know the real Noriega. Like I know journalists. Real journalists. Yeah, like I know people who do this for a living. And I get tired of seeing all of these accounts pop up. And some of these people follow us.
Yeah, for sure.
So
thank y'all for the follow.
Like, thank y'all for the follow, but we don't do that.
Yeah.
We don't do that. And it does irritate me when I see these people like, you know, like Dave Meltzer's been doing this forever.
Yeah.
It's going to take you years to get on that level. Like if you want to be that, if you want to be a wrestling journalist, you really have to not only immerse yourself in the product of what you see on TV and what you might purchase or any streaming platform, but you got to be at these events. You got to be at these scrums. You have to be where these wrestlers at to get, because these wrestlers have to get to know you. Yeah. In order for to tell them the shit. You just can't be on Twitter like, oh man, this nigga got 1,000 followers. Let me go ahead and leak him this news.
Right. And not for nothing, Bank. And this is not shooting Dave Meltzer bail. This is shooting y'all some perspective. The reason why Dave Meltzer can also say what he says because he actually is the friend of a wrestling executive, the most hated person in wrestling, and other actual wrestlers. Like they're his friends. So he really do at some point in time get legit information from the source. You know, that is why, you know, a Jim Cornette will name drop him and be like, man, don't listen to him. You don't know what the fuck he's talking about. But it could be because he hates Vince Russo or because fam really did talk to CM Punk that day. Like that. But
that's because he developed the reputation in order for that to happen. Like he put in his work. I'm not about to sit up here and be like, I'm not about to sit up here and be on Dave Meltzer's nuts though. Like, you know, there's some shit that, you know, motherfuckers get wrong just like any journalist. Yes. But you put in the work in order to get that respect from the people you are covering. And that's the big thing right there. You have people that are in this wrestling community who are saying things and doing these things without getting the respect of the people in the community that they're trying to service. Yeah. Like I'll bring Skip Bayless into play here, right? Because a lot of this, to no fault of his own, I blame the producer more than I blame the personality. Because the producer put the show together. Yeah. He said, hey, we're gonna do this. This shit gonna work. Then it worked, and next thing you know, this person the VP. So look, Skip Bayless, before First Take, before Cold Pizza, Stephen A. Smith, before First Take, before all the other stuff, were hard journalists. Newspaper, writing, calling. Let me find out what's going on over here.
Right.
Doing the work of a journalist.
Yeah.
It's just that TV changes things. It changes perspectives. And you have to do certain things for your audience to keep them captivated.
Yeah.
That's why these debate shows work.
Yeah.
But y'all don't see that hard work that they put in for 25 years before they even got on TV.
Yeah.
You don't see that work that Stephen A. put in when he was a high school basketball journalist.
Yeah.
You don't see none of that. What you see is TV, ESPN, First Take, Cold Pizza, First and 10, Around the Horn. Like Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser was a hard, and still are, hard journalist.
Right.
But y'all see the TV persona is like, all right, let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
And then for wrestling Twitter, y'all see all of these people, you know what I'm saying, on Twitter. Let me go and get all of these, you know, these people who love wrestling, boom, 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 all that stuff. Now they had to follow me. Let me go ahead and put a couple of scoops out here that I think that's going to happen, and post the scoops and all that. Let me retweet a couple of things. Let me take shit from other wrestling organizations and share it on my shit and all of that stuff. Nah, bruh. Like, I'm gonna say this and move on. I'm gonna say this. If you love this sport, if you love wrestling, that's one thing. That's dope. That's great.
Right.
But when you are trying to mask that love for being what you think is a journalist, that's when you get these dudes, these nerds, these virgins on Twitter and on Instagram and all this shit. They don't see no parts of a cat to be like, you know what I'm saying? I'm that guy that you should talk to. Be running in front of cameras like, oh, you need to listen to me because I know wrestling. No, bruh. You just got some equipment and some cameras, and now you talking shit and doing what we doing. You're just trying to make it look like you that nigga because, you know what I'm saying, you got 100,000 Twitter followers because a lot of people like you. No, they just like wrestling. They like your persona, but you ain't saying shit new.
Yeah.
So stop acting like you some hard-hitting journalist. No, you're not. You're just a nigga that love wrestling. And we niggas that love wrestling too. So
we just love it at a higher frequency than y'all.
Right. That's
you know what I'm saying? It's details. All about details.
That's it. That's all, man. So moving on from these virgins.
For sure.
All right, man. I missed it. I missed it on Monday. But it's back here on Friday. And they're like, oh, I think I missed something. I met a tag team titles. Yeah, how you a journalist? Yeah, that's it, Keith.
Right. I learned what Hittai was last year. That's why it's so funny, Keith.
Ain't that's like the anime sex?
Yeah. That's when like Wild Rang and like Sonya Blade meet.
Oh shit.
In like Iceland and have sex.
Oh yeah.
You know
so that's the shit that come on before on Pornhub. That's the shit that come on like on some of the ads.
Seconds
and then it'd be like, it'd be like the anime people like nailing. Oh, okay. Well, like a gorilla dick or some shit. Like, it'd be a regular person, but it'd be like, you know,
it's like, come on, man.
Three prong dick.
You know what I'm saying? It's got like tentacles. It's like a fucking drone, like a drone penis.
Yeah, like that's what that is. All right, okay. Y'all, wow, there's people into that.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? I think it was Kansas. South Dakota. It was. I had a sex. I had a porn category graphic, and it showed that like 3 states that their number one was hentai, and towards the south was like BBC.
So not real sex.
Yeah,
Cartoon
no.
sex. Anime
totally.
sex.
Anime
they
sex.
Man. They virgins.
You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no way in hell.
You know what I'm saying? So if y'all ever wanted to see
no
Johnny
way.
Quest bend something over in India.
Yeah, ain't no
You know
way
what
in
I'm
hell
saying?
I'm more in tune with Popeye fucking olive oil. I need real sex.
Yeah,
I
you know
need...
what I'm saying? Like now. Yeah, you know, I want to hear flesh smacking.
Right. Yeah, like. But we digress.
Yeah.
We digress.
Yeah,
we digress.
Man, this first Black Champ podcast.
First
You
Black
learn
Champ
something
podcast.
new every day.
So, it looks like they're working on a plan to split the tag teams. We wow. Look like they're working on a plan to split the tag team titles.
Yeah.
There was a tag team turmoil match on Raw to determine the number one contenders for the Raw tag team championships. I thought it was for the for all of them, but for Raw, Judgment Day wins that. And then there's going to be a tag team tournament on SmackDown to determine number one contenders for the SmackDown tag team championships. That's why the Viking Raiders attacked the Banger Brothers. See, that's how we revert back to what we just talked about.
There we go. Hey.
Somebody in the WWE knew, like when we named them the Banger Brothers, that somebody's gonna like, they match with the Bang Brothers, right?
Right.
Y'all know that, right? Somebody's like, oh, they don't give a fuck. Like, white men ages 18 and 34 know what Bang Bros is, man.
For sure.
So you gonna name them the Banger Brothers? Come on, y'all.
Like, hey.
Come on.
Hey, and they should play right too. That should pull up in a van,
man.
Hop out the back.
Yep.
Be like, yo,
we giving y'all banger after banger after banger after
you know
banger.
What I'm saying?
So what are your thoughts on the tag team turmoil and tournament to determine number one contenders for both tag team belts, and who should win them? Like, when it's all said and done, who should be the Raw and SmackDown champs?
Man, okay. Glad you said that. I'm glad you asked both questions because I literally was watching this as I was watching Raw and then SmackDown last night. One, okay. My thing will always be this. As long as we make the tag team titles something to talk about every month, I don't care who have them really overall, right. Even though the most compelling tag team, the most compelling story has always been surrounding the Usos. And that's even before the title reign, you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, when the Usos stepped on TV, whether it was against the New Day or anybody else, they were just the most compelling tag team in and out of the ring. Same with the New Day. So that's why, they are the two longest reigning tag teams ever as far as being champions. And we should never have a problem with that. So I won't even lie to you, Bang, before it was even announced, but as far as all the teams that were going to be in it, when Adam Pearce brought up that there's going to be tag team turmoil, I was like, oh, Judgment Day going to win this shit. And I'll say it like this. Judgment Day went from being the team that you don't know, or faction that you don't know how that's going to get over without Edge, to Rhea Ripley being the legitimate star and the fuel to make this go. And that's still not necessarily not true today.
Right.
But I think what Damian Priest and Finn Balor have done, being the unsung leader, well, Finn Balor being the obvious leader, but and Damian Priest being the enforcer that probably should have been the leader, but because Rhea Ripley, the only thing that they are missing is a title on somebody.
Yeah.
I was expecting Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship at the Royal Rumble.
Been expecting that.
Yeah. So
maybe WrestleMania at this point.
Yes. Which, hey, spoiler alert, you probably just heard my Royal Rumble Women's take. I'm just throwing it out there like that.
Hey!
You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me just get to my Royal Rumble. My Royal Rumble pick to win the women's is Rhea Ripley, because who the fuck else could it be at this point? She is. She's the hottest. She's the hottest women's wrestler without a title or a title shot. She was supposed to be in all the pictures, but injuries and just mishaps and contracts and other things just happened. But Rhea Ripley is dominating on a whole different level. Like, this is what they were projecting 2 or 3 years ago, and it's just on time. Like, the train is just not late. So I got Rhea Ripley winning the Women's Royal Rumble, and it's not even close. I don't care who's the last 4 in it. I don't care what else is happening. Now, since Charlotte Flair came back and won the SmackDown Women's Championship, there is no reason why Rhea Ripley is not going to win the Women's Royal Rumble to me. Right. And I'm not wavering on that pick at all. But back to the tag team shit. I had Finn Balor and Damian Priest winning the Raw Tag Team Championships before I knew the other teams that were even announced. I think if we're gonna have the Usos drop to anybody on Raw, with all due respect to the Street Profits, I think Judgment Day is the move.
Yeah.
And you know what? And even if the team ends up being Dominic and Damian Priest, I won't lie. I won't front. I like it. I like it because it draws the appropriate amount of heat. And now you have the tag team titles on a team that people really want to see get their ass whooped. You know, we're kind of past the point where we want to see the Usos lose.
Yeah.
But people want to see Dominic get his ass beat every hour. Now, I'm not going to say every week. They want the WWE exclusive to come out that show Dominic getting his ass whooped by somebody. It don't even matter at this point. And you can't buy that type of heat. So it makes perfect sense for the Raw Tag Team Championship specifically to be on Judgment Day, whichever 3 they want to pick.
Yeah, and I'll even go as far as to say, man, Finn Balor shouldn't hold that title, because when they split the titles, I expect, here's a spoiler alert for a guarantee. My guarantee is that Finn Balor will hold one of the world titles this year.
Okay.
I think that, same as you, we was wondering about Judgment Day, but I think Judgment Day has exceeded all expectations.
Yeah.
And I see Finn Balor basically getting back to old Finn, but even stepping it up a notch and being a person that can hold a world title in 2023, because they're going to split those titles. I foresee a big year for Finn, but I also think that sound like somebody shooting up there. All I heard was da 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 da. But no, but the other part of this is I would freebird them titles. Like,
I will beat down ass. my bad. Down, I will fuck you up, homie.
I just saw the. Hey man, Keith, hold on. This is the second time you did this to us today. Don't put no more comments up there just yet, because it's the second time you did this to us today. It's the second time today, fam. Keith, you might get a shirt, because this shit right here, like, you be on time. That's why I don't look at. That's why I have the webcam here, not where the laptop is. I try not to look over. This is twice you got. Wait till after the show. Wait till after but no. Spoiler alert, another spoiler alert, but this is not a guarantee. This was a guarantee hope is that, you know, if the Judgment Day were to win the titles, I will freebird them.
Okay.
Dom, Damian, and Rhea will be the tag team champs.
Rhea slamming dudes that's 6'5", 6'8".
To everything that you just said, man, Rhea hold her own against niggas, fam. So she can freebird that shit while Finn go up against Cody Rhodes for the WWE title. That's just me. That's what I would do. Now, with that being said, I think this situation lines up perfectly for the evolution of Dom. Because while it might not be the same character, when I see this Dom, I see the person in the pay-per-view that I tell y'all as every once in a while to go watch I see his daddy, Eddie Guerrero, in him. I see Art Bar Eddie Guerrero in Dom with this character. He might not. No, Eddie was probably he wasn't talking about. I was in jail and all this shit. He wasn't that shit. But that swag that Eddie had when he did the When Worlds Collide and came up like the heel Eddie, the that's the Eddie Guerrero I see in him. They just got to let it ride. They don't need to put him on like a purple mask, like a purple bandana, like he on Saints Row. But the swag, see, they got my man that. They got my man down here looking like a Mexican Saints Row character. That's the only thing that I'm not cool with, fam. Like they bringing Mexican stereotypes back. With Dom, that's the only thing. They bringing all of the Mexican stereotypes back. The only thing we need now is Bobby the Brain and to call somebody taco hands or some shit like that. And it's like, yo, y'all wilding. But that's what I would like to see. That's what I see here. This is what I think they have the potential to have and all of that. I think that, having him in the tag team title spot, it helps him grow as a character and all of that. So if I were to say who would be the champ other than the Usos losing at WrestleMania.
Okay, you got that. Okay.
But I think that Judgment Day would win that belt and be the World Tag Team Champs. So that's who I see out of all of this. Now, with that being said, that's when I can see the Street Profits going back and forth with them and either winning the belt or losing the chance to get it again. And then Montez saying, you know what, fuck this. DDT, and then we like, the Street Profits broke up. No. So all of these are means to an end. Let's just say that night after WrestleMania gonna be lit. It's gonna be lit. So
yeah, it's definitely the makings of it. And to be clear, y'all, I don't care who win the SmackDown one, Usos. Don't matter. Usos not losing both belts going to WrestleMania. That's not happening.
They're gonna lose that motherfucker hair. We've talked about Sammy and them enough to see what happened on Friday. See the little hand where Kevin Owens had his hand on his foot and that thing. Seeing Sammy like, damn, why y'all jump my nigga like that? I was supposed to just wrestle him by myself.
Yeah,
I ain't need y'all to do all this. I got it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
And not for nothing, I mean, even though I don't know the series count, but this was going to be one of the rare times where Sami Zayn was about to beat Kevin Owens clean by himself, and they fucked it up.
Yeah, so but moving on to AEW. Yes, we are going to talk about AEW, but it's in a funny way. I was telling Camp before we started, I don't know if he saw the video, but there was video of fans having the camera phones out, recording, thinking they was going to see a debut of Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks in AEW, and it did not happen. And the booing that took place in the arena, people were flat out upset because they thought that they were going to see Mercedes Moné at AEW. I said that was the rumor and that was the possibility, but I don't think Mercedes Moné is appearing on regular television to kick off like a debut, fam. No. She's pay-per-view, fam. I don't know what we're doing here. No. But your thoughts on AEW fans being upset that Mercedes Moné didn't debut?
Well, one, told you so. All right, told y'all. No, it's not happening. Sucks to suck. Sucks to be you. Sucks to believe dumb shit that you read on the internet. All of that. I'm gonna stand by the statement. AEW does not have the platform or the paycheck that is big enough to make sense for their operation right now for Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné. Sorry. I keep thinking Janelle Monáe. I'm sorry. But what there has to be a certain level of cachet, like, and I get it. Daniel Bryan is lowering himself for this. But Sasha Banks, her whole brand is about not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, she tells you that in her wrestling promos. She tells you that on Broken Skull Sessions. They don't have the platform, the situation, the moment big enough for Mercedes to show up and do anything right now. I know that hurts the heart and the emotions of many of you, but you got to suck it the fuck up and realize, I'm sorry, it's just going to hit different. And she don't even use pyro. And it still ain't big enough for her. I think that AEW did what they were supposed to do, though, Bang, on the same thing. Because you made mention of, oh, we're going to get the Real Boss promo that was cut with the, the illusion that maybe Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné, I'm sorry, we're going to just do some Mercedes Moné coming, right? Because we know she can't be anywhere else using Sasha Banks anyway.
Yeah.
So, right. So, but that's what they're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? They should have went all the way with it like Vince did with Big Daddy Cool, Diesel, and Razor Ramon. You know what I'm saying? When Hall and Nash went to WCW, they should have took that route. But yeah, it was never happening because they're just not in the space. They don't gross enough. They don't do the viewership enough. They don't have a solid opponent for her. She's already making some of the elite people more elite. She's already making the almost there people to a respectable level and for a bigger paycheck. And wrestling is wrestling, but superstars ain't superstars no more. And she's one of those very rare superstars that you just got to treat a certain way. You have to court a certain way. You're not just going to get Mercedes there because, oh, I heard you don't fuck with Vince. You want to come kick it with us?
Yeah.
like that's not how this is going to work with her.
Yeah, to me, even though AEW has had strong debuts, nobody does a debut like the WWE. Now, we talked about it last week. Camp here does not like the Royal Rumble debuts. Well, not debuts, but the surprise entrance, and specifically certain surprise entrants. Because they did it right with AJ Styles, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
I see that Jay White his contract is up, and it looks like he's coming to America according to the wrestling dirt sheets. And if he were to pop up in the Royal Rumble, it's lit. I told y'all years ago that I think that Jay White has the potential to be one of the biggest stars in wrestling in America off of look and promo alone.
Yeah.
But you
Evan
see
Bourne
what
showing up, that's the problem.
Right.
You know?
It's the way you did that with the straight face, fam. Like, Evan Bourne comes, that's a problem, fam.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
What the fuck is he doing here? Like, just to get thrown out in a rude way. So look, like it's pay-per-view or a big moment. Like, you're not debuting on a random ass Monday night in Boise, Idaho, fam. Yeah. No, you debuting on the biggest stage you got. Like the Royal Rumble, you're right. I don't want to see Kamala in the Royal Rumble when he was alive, you know? I don't want to see Abdullah the Butcher be a surprise entrant. Yeah. Like, I don't want to see fucking I don't
want to see Jeff Jarrett because he active again.
Yeah, I don't want to see Jeff Jarrett. I when he did that shit, I was like, get the fuck about. I don't want to see Ahmed Johnson as a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble. I say that because I'm watching the San Antonio Royal Rumble. Shit. Right. So yeah, you're right. I don't want to see that. But even still, it happens at a pay-per-view. It happens at a big-ass moment, whether we like it or not. Like, I don't want to see Abdullah. Like, when they did those, I forgot who they was wrestling, but it was like 3 weeks in a row. It was like three weeks in a row where somebody wrestled. Like, I forgot who they was wrestling, but like 1 week it was Vader. The next week it was Sid Vicious. Debuted those type of wrestlers when they all debut there. But Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné or whatever, she don't debut on regular TV.
Yeah.
She debuts at your pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That's what she's for. And I didn't even realize you was right about the pyro. Yeah, I don't want to see a whole bunch of and then we hear Hustle in the House play. No, like, if you do that shit on a pay-per-view. Let us pay $50 to see the debut of Mercedes Moné because she is Moné. She's the CEO of your women's division.
Yeah.
I don't want to see her debut in Jacksonville, Florida. And shit, it's Monday time or some shit like that.
Right.
So AEW fans are spoiled because all of their big debuts mostly happen at regular shows, except for like Bryan Danielson. He debuted at the pay-per-view, came in, said some words. Like, nah, fam. She debuted at Wrestle Kingdom. She didn't debut on like New Japan Pro Wrestling TV.
Yeah. And also with that, and again, this is because again, I just feel Daniel Bryan just lowers himself. Listen, they're gonna have to, AEW is gonna have to book your Allstates, your United Centers, your Bridgestones, your book the main arenas in these cities to get a Sasha Banks.
You got to debut in 5,000 seat arenas.
Yeah. And again, hey, look, it's no disrespect. It's just knowing where you are. And again, you're lucky to have a Daniel Bryan or a Chris Jericho that just is really doing this for the love of actually wrestling. And they don't mind going back to the days when 100 people were watching them at the YMCA because they're really concerned about the performance. Mercedes is concerned about being a superstar. She's concerned about being an international icon and celebrity. And they're already not making national superstars out of the roster that they have. So what do you think is going to happen when Mercedes shows up? Like Britt Baker should have been on the Today Show already, if you're asking me. There's just other people. There's other people in that company that have done national PR. They've been on your Sports Centers. They've been on your Today Shows, Good Morning Americas, and they're not doing none of that shit now. So why does she come over? No, it just doesn't work like that. They're still in the wrestling business, and they're not using the money like Ted and Eric Bischoff was doing. And until they start using the money like that, you're not seeing the likes of a Mercedes nowhere near there.
Yeah, so now it's nothing against the company. They ain't talking about the company as a company. Right. I'm just talking about like, fam, when it's certain debuts that you just gotta, you can't just be out here, debuting in a random ass tag match.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what that's for. And like, you're not, like Tony Storm debuting in a tag match. Okay. Who else? Liv Morgan debuting in a tag match. Yeah, not her. Again, not one of the biggest stars. Not to me, one of the biggest stars. Well, at the end of 2023, she would have made herself one of the biggest stars in the world of wrestling because of what she had. And again, let Sasha Mercedes get her rocks off in Japan. I keep telling y'all, everything ain't let me go wrestle in America for the second-rate organization. No matter how you feel about AEW, it's still number two. It's number one in your hearts, but number two in the books, fam. That's the end of the day. That's what it is. She don't debut on TV for that.
Right.
No, like no,
Right.
she platform. That's
Right.
what we do.
Hey,
Go ahead.
as I'm sorry, as a real quick, as my man, because it says Facebook user, so I'm sorry. So salute to whoever said this. That's right. She ain't showing up to AEW in Springfield.
Oh yeah,
Like,
there you
bro,
go.
like that's not happening. Like, she's not doing Sioux City, Iowa. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not happening. You got to put her in major markets. She should be kicking off your pay-per-view or coming in the second hour. And that's what you do with somebody like that. And you got to pay for that. Like, you got to take the L on the arena being half full, but just know that she in there and meet people mad they missed it. Like, if anything else.
So man, that's it. That's all, y'all. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all when it comes to that. All right. Before we get out of here, a couple of quick hits, man. Adam Cole is back in AEW. He said his piece. He snapped off on everybody. He showed us the old Adam Cole that I'm used to seeing. So I'm very excited. But it is AEW. So they'll mess around and have him going up against Orange Cassidy for the AEW Intercontinental Championship. Because I refuse to call it the All Atlantic Championship, man. It's the Intercontinental Championship. Your thoughts, man, on Adam Cole returning, and if that makes you want to watch AEW more?
Man, I would like to say that it does, but obviously Adam Cole's health and wellness has not been the same since he's arrived in AEW. So I can't get too over the moon or even near the moon for that sake. And again, it's just looking at trajectory, the plan versus actual. I mean, this is I hope the best because I like Adam Cole. I like the character, I like the persona, I like the in-ring work. But man, I just hope that he can get through 2023 with no serious injuries and getting back to making really great moments on wrestling programs monthly, like he was doing for about 3 years with NXT.
Yeah, man. I saw a tweet from Britt Baker said that he couldn't even fly. Basically, he was just at the crib and he would go to the store or he'd go to the doctor's office. Doctor's office. You know, so I'm happy to see him out there doing this thing, and I hope that they stop bullshitting with him. But I hope also that he is healthy enough to do what he needs to do. Another thing that I want to start doing, especially between this point of now and then the end of the back end of WrestleMania, when we notice there's some people who will end up no longer being a part of the company. So it's one of those situations where I look and I say, hey man, somebody might be in trouble. So I want you to give me one person on this roster that you have not named since last week, because I know you named, and you're the inspirationist too. So because you had said that, after seeing me and Yim and all of them last week, it's like, oh man, they're in trouble because the crowd did not care. So give me a wrestler, male or female, that you believe that after WrestleMania, they might be in a little bit of trouble.
If I, you know what? This just might sound crazy, but we're going to go there. And it's kind of unfortunate for one. Otis and Gable. Viking Raiders.
Just give me one.
Oh, okay. Well, then let me get the one that I think is going to be the most unfortunate. I'm sorry. I'll give you one. And you know how I fought this one. Bang. Angelo Dawkins.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn. Why Angelo?
Because the Street Profits are obviously not going to win the tag team titles, the Raw tag team titles, as far as I'm concerned. Again, when I went to Raw and I seen the 6-man, and if you noticed during that match, Montez Ford was looking at the place where he saw his bleeding wife, but she wasn't there. I think they're going into a whole different character change with specifically Montez Ford.
Okay.
And even though I believe in Angelo Dawkins, and I think the better move would be moving him to SmackDown, I feel like they're going to do something like a feud with them and they are going to send him. Well, worst case scenario, I hope they send him back to NXT.
Okay.
But with people like Bronson Reed returning, specifically, and them wanting the most for Karrion Kross and Judgment Day working out better, and eventually Bray Wyatt's going to have to wrestle. You know what I mean? LA Knight back. It's now, unfortunately, too many people in Angelo Dawkins' way that's making it work. And the Street Profits are just not looking like who they are and were 3 years ago. And that's the disappointing part for me. I don't want this, but that's what I see.
Okay. I'm going to go women's division, and I'm going to go Zia Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
I was told her braids were appropriating on the SmackDown.
It was? I mean, I guess.
And I was just like, wait, I was like, Asians don't braid their hair? So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey,
I'll let y'all. I'll let our ladies audience, if we have one, deal with that.
Because she wore them on New Year's, and there was a lot of people that was like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on here?" It's a lot of people. It was a lot of people that was like, "Yo, what the fuck going on here?" I saw it. I saw it, and I was like, "Dang,
yeah,
it's an issue, huh?" Okay. And like you said, so Asians don't do that to their hair. Then I looked around the landscape and I was like, well, I didn't really see an Asian person. I've never seen an Asian person with those braids.
Yeah.
So maybe there is a point here that I might be missing.
I think I personally think Zia just knows that she has a black audience that like those thighs.
That's true.
And their fire. Bah, 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 bah. You know what I'm saying? Fire.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, but I will say this. Like, I saw that match with her and Tegan Knox. And if you listen to the show, y'all know that I'm a fan of Tegan Knox. I've always been a fan of the rainbow over there. And I've been a fan of Zia Lee too. But not only did the fans not give a damn, but when Michael Cole, they sent it back to them after the match was over, it seemed like they didn't give a fuck either.
No.
I was like, damn.
Yeah.
That was rough. So, like, you know, the fan, look, here's the other part of what I'm about to say too. Y'all could talk all this stuff y'all want to about who y'all liking and who y'all not liking and all that. But there's a lot of fake outrage when it comes to the women's division too, because y'all don't support the women's division. Y'all support 4 women.
That's a fact.
Maybe even 5.
That's a fact.
Y'all don't support the women's division like that. Because if y'all support the women, that match was not bad at all.
No.
Yesterday, it was not bad on SmackDown on Friday. It was not bad at all, but it wasn't Charlotte Flair. Y'all like seeing Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville. Like y'all loved that, you know, and that was just a small little Donnybrook, you know what I'm saying? But y'all didn't like the other one. Okay, cool, bet. And to me, I think that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Support the women's division, support all of them, and that didn't happen. So when I look at that, when I look at them, I say to myself, ugh. Some of these women might be moved out the way for other women. And when I look at Roxanne Perez, when I look at Roxanne Perez, when I look at Toxic Attraction, when I even look at Nikita, I see women who more than likely the WWE is going to put into place instead of some people like Tegan Knox and Zia Lee. But I think since Tegan Knox returned through Triple H, she's going to get a little bit more rope here. So Zia Lee is somebody that need to work out. All right, so last but not least, the Royal Rumble is coming up in what, 2 weeks? 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we almost there. So, next week will be our prediction show, and then we're bringing back the oral history. So be ready for that. The first oral history of the year, ladies and gentlemen, just gonna go ahead and get it out the way so y'all can anticipate it. Because somebody asked for it. I thought we did one, but there were some old episodes that got deleted. So we gonna do it like this, man. The first oral history this year is going to be Bad News Brown, ladies and gentlemen. We gonna go ahead and we gonna get Bad News Brown his love and everything. So the week of the Royal Rumble, Bad News Brown. Next week is the prediction show. And just to get it out there right now, you've already said Rhea Ripley for the women. So if you had to pick right now, who's the winner of the Royal Rumble?
Man, the winner of the Royal Rumble, because we got to make this make sense for the champ. I'm still not off Bobby Lashley this week.
Okay.
I'm still not off Bobby Lashley this week. It's in that with an engine going like that, with everything that they got coming his way. I mean, listen, you can't tell me that one of the biggest and best clashes at a WrestleMania over the World Championship won't be the Bloodline versus the Hurt Business, and the two leaders of those respective factions getting to it. I mean, hey, it's a people of color dream, right? This is what Michael Jackson and Quincy was singing about, right? That's what they wrote down. We are the world. This is what they was thinking about.
Yeah.
So Bobby Lashley versus Roman Reigns, reunited Hurt Business against the Bloodline to really keep it square, to really keep it a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. Now I know to a degree that may not be a WrestleMania draw. That might be too big for Fastlane, but not big enough for WrestleMania. But fuck that. This first black champ. I highlight black people that's supposed to be winning out here. You dig? And that's my pick this week. I pick Seth Rollins all the time. Y'all know this. Y'all been paying attention to the show. Yeah. So I got to get off that real quick because I'm watching him. One more week, I'm watching him. But right now, let's say Bobby Lashley.
All right, man. I'm going to go and stay with Cody Rhodes. Okay. Cody Rhodes vignettes are hidden. It might change next week, but the Cody Rhodes vignettes have been hidden. They have been doing a great job to let you know that Cody Rhodes is coming back.
Yep.
They've been given all of the feels, man. It's been all of the feels with Cody Rhodes. So I'm going to stick with it, man. I'm going to stick with Cody Rhodes as being the winner. It might change next week, though. Mm-hmm. Just go throw that out there. It might change next week. What's up?
Will Cody Rhodes be number 6 in the Royal Rumble?
Ooh.
See what I'm doing here?
Yes. I'm going to go and say that Cody Rhodes is going to be number 27.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick him as number 27 in the Royal Rumble. He's not going to be in too early, but he ain't going to be in too late either.
Gotcha.
He ain't going to be in too late either. So I am picking him to be the 27th entry in the Royal Rumble, and he's going to win it. But it might change because I'm feeling like we're going to get a surprise.
Oh, yeah.
But it ain't going to be the surprise we expect.
Okay.
Because somebody got to wrestle at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody got to wrestle at WrestleMania. And I'm not for sure that it's going to be who everybody is expecting to be number 30 and throw out the last 7 people to be in the Royal Rumble. I'm just but for the women, I am going to go with Becky Lynch.
Okay.
I think her and Rhea Ripley will be the last 2. But I think that Rhea and Bianca Belair is penciled in no matter what. But I am interested in Becky winning, because with Becky, it gives you the, all right, if she's gonna try to get her rematch against Bianca Belair, because she beat her at WrestleMania, she beat her at SummerSlam. So will she try to get her like that, or will she go up against Charlotte Flair because of the history between her and Charlotte Flair? And then she goes and she picks Charlotte Flair, and then we have Becky versus Charlotte Flair. That's why I think, that's the only reason why I think, is because of the intrigue of who she would pick, even though I don't think that she would pick Bianca Belair. She would like, go ahead, girl, do your thing. We've went through it already. But I still got unfinished business with this hoe over here. We'll see what happens, though. We'll see what happens, though, man. So you've already, you gave your guarantee, right?
Yeah, it was kind of.
It was the Rhea Ripley.
It was kind of Rhea Ripley. I mean, hey, look, man, y'all want some low hanging fruit guarantee? I guarantee that the Royal Rumble gonna waste the fucking pick. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee that. I guarantee you, probably fucking Chuck Palumbo is gonna come out.
Don't do
that. or Deuce and Domino are gonna fucking be in the Royal Rumble this year.
Don't do that.
You know, house for that. I think no, you know what? Oh man, I should have said this, but for the other segment. But you know what? I guarantee Baron Corbin versus JBL is going to be a match.
I hope not, because he was going to be the one for today that might be in trouble. Because that
after I thought about it, I was like, yo, it's interesting though, because are they prepared to make Baron Corbin the face? Because ain't nobody gonna cheer. I mean, ain't nobody gonna boo if he beats JBL's ass. But are we really gonna start cheering Baron Corbin though? Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like,
they did before.
That's true. That's true. It was short-lived, but you're right.
Yeah, they did. I mean, look, man, what irritates me about this Baron Corbin shit.
Brian Skaggs.
What irritates me about this Baron Corbin shit is because when I look at Baron Corbin and JBL together, I look at the cabinet.
Yeah.
That's what I don't look at this low rate ass APA type shit going on. Margs in the back playing poker. And you cheating? No, I look at the cabinet, fam.
Yeah.
The cabinet. Him
they wasting this.
And the other and two other people and a woman, and they wasting it. They are wasting it.
Yeah, this whole thing is Richie Rich growing up and being lame.
Yeah. This is Huff. Like, see him, like, I was Kevin Owens. When he had his head in the turnbuckle, that was me. But it was more because Baron Corbin is much, much more than the lackey. He's portraying the lackey and not even supposed to be the lackey.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And that's what irritates me about this.
Yeah. At this point, Jerry Skaggs would be a better pick for the Royal Rumble than Baron Corbin.
Yeah, he would. So yeah,
but I don't want to see that either.
So yeah, so that's man. That's irritating me. We got a couple of questions real quick. Do we foresee anybody in AEW debuting or re-debuting in the Rumble? I mean, if you want to say Jay White, because he was in AEW for that little bit, I guess you could say Jay White. But nah, I don't want to be that person. But I'm sorry, but I would rather see Jerry Skaggs than anybody in AEW that could possibly debut at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Like who?
I think I mean, again, man, that don't get me wrong. The Royal Rumble, they be wasting picks. Vince can't wait to waste a Royal Rumble pick, but I think at this point of just turmoil with business, Tony Khan can't allow that to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's It's just not good for him because the thing is, no matter who comes in, it ain't gonna be the rub that AEW needs to gain audience. So that's why I personally don't see it happening. Because like Michael Cole's gonna be like, oh hey, one of the AEW's cornerstones of the company the last 3, like nah, like they ain't happening.
Like we
not like, yo, I think I've heard of this guy.
Yeah, we not getting a hard on if Miro comes back.
Yeah,
like that, like stuff, like even with the returns from the from AEW back to WWE, there's not anybody that I would care for to enter the Royal Rumble. That's how I'll put it. It's nobody that I would care for. Would I like to see somebody return? Yes. But Royal Rumble return? Nah. That's the best way of putting it, because I put that like that on the pedestal. Like, Royal Rumble, it's either shock or surprise, like some real true, like one of the old dudes, even though we don't want to really see him, but just to hear that name, it's like, oh, okay. But Miro, nah. The way I want Miro to re-debut is vignettes, attack somebody night after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him return in the Royal Rumble and then not see him. That's the better way of putting it, instead of just like thinking I'm shitting on the company, because I'm not.
Yeah.
It's just like, re-debut this person. Keith Lee, re-debut this person. Cole is not going anywhere. And it's like, who else? Like, then after that is who cares?
Yeah. No,
but Jay White, I would say Jay White, since he was there during the whole like thing with Kenny Omega and all of that stuff, and he was on one of the pay-per-views. So I would say Jay White would be that person. The last thing is, there were reports that the Khan family are one of the people who are interested in purchasing the WWE. AEW WWE merger. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that, I'm actually gonna go to my DM, because I was actually sent.
Oh, we got a DM.
This.
We got a DM.
You know what I'm saying? And
and
my direct quote to reading exactly what you're talking about, Bang, is wrestling Twitter would implode with so many harsh realities if this goes down.
I think we might be on the same page here, but I want to hear it.
Well, the first thing that I think that every wrestling Twitter fan, especially the AEW stands, would have to accept is that the Khan family knows who really runs this wrestling ish, and they know that they need the playbook and the blueprint to increase the success of what they have. I also believe that it would be proof positive that the Khans don't hate Vince McMahon at all.
Oh, no, they don't.
I think it would show more of the fact that they want to work together, and that it is better to join that umbrella that is Titan Sports than it is to be running against it. Because no matter how you spin the ratings for NXT 2.0, NXT, now we back to the 1.0, against AEW Dynamite, Rampage, Dark, Black, no niggas allowed, only coloreds only. No matter what AEW program they got on there, they know for a fact that our stars are still bigger than your stars. Our moments are still bigger than your moments. Even though we have NXT housed in Florida every single week, the fandom is just greater than what y'all doing in Sioux City, Iowa, in Bismarck, North Dakota, in Topeka, Kansas, and everywhere else, in Figure Heights, Ohio, like everything else. So when I see that, it's like, if you can't beat them, buy them and hire them to consult. That's what I see when I see that headline.
When I see that headline, I think of what they really wanted to do in the first place. Been in business way too long, Camp.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually said this.
Yeah.
When AEW began, this will not be WCW being bought by its competition.
Right.
This would be the competition buying the name you know.
Yep. Absolutely.
Simply put. But you want to be in that umbrella. You want this. If anything, when I look at this, I think of they wanted the WWE to pay attention and buy them in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think and I'm gonna be honest when I say this. I don't think the Khans, Tony and the daddy in general,
right,
were knee deep into having a wrestling company in the first place. It was his son, like, yo, let's go do this. All right, cool,
Saddam Khan don't care at all.
Yeah, this nigga called him Saddam Khan.
That's what they did that Jaguars game. I was like, that's Saddam Hussein?
Fam, you wild. Fam.
Yeah. Like, fam, look like Saddam Hussein. That's crazy.
Yeah. So look, man, like when I see the company, I see, hey, yo, we got this wrestling organization. Hey, man, we making some good money. You want to buy us? 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 It's just now is an opportunity to buy y'all. Mm-hmm. And look, let's be real. If they were to buy the WWE, this would be the biggest shock in the history of business. This would be because they can't buy it outright. They need people.
Right.
Like they would need some other people to be like, yo, hey man, trying to buy the WWE, fam. Hey, but we need your help. Yeah. Hey, here's this GoFundMe. Yes, you said last week.
Right.
Here's this GoFundMe.
Dwayne. Him and my cousin are
Dwayne,
cool.
Yeah,
my brother.
Yeah, we're gonna call some people, fam. That will have to happen. Mm-hmm. But I like the Warner Brothers Discovery is the thing that's more to look out than them. With that being said, I do think what I said last week, and I'm gonna repeat it again because I actually messed up. Mm-hmm. I do believe that no matter of fact, I'm probably gonna sound harsh in saying this, mm-hmm. but I'm gonna ask you first.
Okay.
Presently constructed, do you believe that the WWE has room to grow as an organization? Or do you believe that this is as big as they are gonna get?
Oh no, it's definitely room to grow.
Okay. How is that? Like, where do they grow in?
Shit. The growing part to me would be putting NXT in the format that AEW is in.
Okay.
So literally what that means is that, they're doing the Rupp Arena in Lexington.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Instead of just keeping them in Florida, it's you put them on the road and do that, and then
because that was starting to happen. They was about to start doing that.
Yep. So there's that, and then I think if the WWE was to acquire like an AEW, it's like, oh hey, look, I have a new house for indie darlings. Y'all don't even care about tickets.
Okay,
so we can do that here too.
All right, so I disagree with you to a point.
Okay.
And you're right. Like when you said the NXT part, I think you're right when it comes to that part. But I think like overall though, when I look at the WWE, I don't think that the WWE is going to get any bigger as a whole. I don't think the WWE is going to get any bigger than what they are right now. And I think that's saying something because I don't think that the WWE and ratings show it. Now they may have made more money than they have ever, but that's because you scale back on certain things. And when you scale back on certain things, you don't have to pay certain things. So with that being said, the profit value is a lot bigger than it would be if this was 20 years ago. But ratings wise, they don't pull in the same amount of people doing certain areas, even though TV habits has changed. And that's part of it too. I do believe that the only way for them to get bigger is to do what I said last week and really be the network and, you know, offer streaming deals to your competition, which would be Raw on Monday, Impact on Tuesday, AEW on Wednesday, New Japan on Thursday, and SmackDown on Friday. And that's why I messed up at night by putting SmackDown. I think that is the next step for the WWE to grow. But as a wrestling company, and even so as a content company, I don't think that there's a chance for the WWE to be bigger than what they are right now. That's the next step that they got to take. And it's only because the stars that were readily available back in the day, they ain't coming back like that no more.
Right.
And you're not making them either. It'll be a while before we see a Stone Cold Steve Austin or another Rock. But shit, it'll be a while before we see another Roman Reigns. And I like Seth Rollins, but he ain't Roman Reigns. He's a star, but he's not a superstar. He's a superstar in wrestling, but he's not a superstar in pop culture.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe that the WWE is missing. Your pop culture person is Roman Reigns. When at a time your pop culture people was Triple H, Daniel Bryan, Batista, The Undertaker, Kane. You don't have those multiple stars that can bring out. So I think that the next growth for the WWE is more from a business side and being the ESPN of wrestling as opposed to a wrestling company. And I think that anybody who buys the WWE has that in mind already. Can they get bigger than what I am purchasing them? And I also believe that on the low, I also believe that Vince McMahon is thinking the same thing. If I could get $10 billion for this organization, let me get that now, because I'm not for sure if I'm going to be able to get that in 2025. We'll still be the top dog.
Yeah, no, I got you.
But the money.
Yeah.
Because I strongly have a feeling that some like the TV deal that they have currently, are we sure we're gonna get another $1 billion out of Fox?
Right, that's true. That's true. I mean, yeah, post-pandemic, it sounded like a great idea. Or like, well, actually, during the last leg of the pandemic with uncertainty, it was a great idea. But yeah, now we all outside, no mask, raw dogging earth and oxygen every chance we get. Yeah, it's a little different.
It's a little different, man. So I think this is definitely strike while the iron is hot. Let's get this $10 billion and let's get the fuck up out of here if I'm Vince. But y'all could go ahead and still work with them and we go from there. But I think we are at a point where the growth is gonna be stunted for a little bit, and it's easier for you to sail in this time. All right, man. So we out of here, man. Thank y'all for joining the show. I want to specifically shout out Keith, because Keith was with it with the comments today.
Yeah.
So man, shouts out to Keith, man, for jumping on. But shouts out to everybody. Shouts out to all of you all for jumping on. Right. As a matter of fact, I'll leave it to Cam to end us off, man.
Oh man, hey, as always, man, we appreciate y'all checking out the show every single week. We appreciate your interaction, especially during the lives. You know, in the likes, comments, shares, questions, articles. Whether we are doing a great job or not, we always appreciate that by your feedback and your conversation about what we do every single week. Obviously, Bang and I could perform the show without you all, but you make it that much greater, man. You make it that much more of a special event, and we appreciate you sincerely. So always remember, if you ever want to talk about wrestling in the unconventional way, Forgot what I was going to say there. Unconventional way. You do so by checking out the First Black Champ podcast. Champ. VPB. We are out. Fuck Johnny Wrestling. Dom, I'll beat your ass.
VPB. I like